Job done, very much for the hosts. Everton failed to muster a single shot on target. Taking a look at what that means then at the top of the table. Liverpool re-establish then that 12-point lead with 8 matches remaining in England. Frank Leboeuf joins us. We'll be hearing from Frank in a moment. But Stevie, job done, 3 points.
Yeah, that's all that matters now. It's not about getting the cherry on the top and looking good and all the fancy footwork and creating thousands of chances and scoring lots of goals. It's about getting the result.
Yeah.
And at times you wondered if they were going to. Everton defensively did everything. Pickford stood strong. They got blocks on shots. I mean, you name it, they got it done up until that one opportunity that Jota took. But that's what it's all about. It's about the result, and Liverpool got it.
The officiating, not just for that, the officiating across the board in this game was so substandard, and I'm including the people back at Stockley Park. Was so substandard that it's actually worrying. You know, when other countries talk about, and particularly La Liga, which we cover every week, and they say, oh, this is terrible in Spain, we need to get the English referees in. You damn well don't. You damn well don't. Why were you like a cat and a hot tin roof when they have a 12-point gap at the top? Are we missing something here? We were sitting going, what are you talking?
Well, it's all right, it's okay.
I mean, they're going to do it with like a cigar.
And that's it, and that's why it's kind of difficult to go into too much analysis of this game, isn't it? It's kind of, you're just meandering towards the inevitable, and that's just the way, and fair play to Liverpool. They're the one who...
The disappointment is now that they are out of these other competitions because they're going to win this one so easy.
Yes.
It just feels like they're going to fall over the line.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from them, but I think the sooner they get there, the better.
Well, then what are you talking about? Then what?
The Premier League's done.
Yes,
right?
it's
a damp squib. It's done. Who's going to get in the fight? We know who's going to get relegated, even though Ipswich won today.
Yes.
We'll get to that. I'm super excited about
I don't think we will.
No, did that not make the cut?
I don't know if we will.
Give me the other ones, make the cut. I'll rip them up. So, yeah.
Frank, just take me through the challenge that we saw from Tarkowski in the sense that, is there any argument to say, it's just the momentum, though, of him winning the ball?
My concern is, you can get the ball and he gets the ball, but as soon as he has gotten the ball, he has to bend his leg, but he keeps his leg straight, just to hurt. So, therefore, on purpose, McAllister. You know, when he touches the ball, then he can go and bend his leg. He doesn't. He goes and carries on and goes for the tackle. He wants to threat. He wants to injure McAllister. That's a very bad. And I'm sorry for Tarkowski because I think he's a great defender and did 2 or 3 things today who made me thought that he was a great defender. But he was nasty. At that point, he was nasty, and it's a deserving red card, 100%.
So this is where we kind of bring in the fact that does somebody need to be at Stockley Park who has played the game? Because you three have all said exactly the same thing to me in the sense that he wanted to lay one on him. He wanted to make
the kind of challenge, I'm not suggesting Stevie made it, but it's the kind of challenge back in the 70s, the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s when a player was annoying you or giving you a lot of chat or you were in a bit of a scuffle with them all game. When a ball landed like that, you thought, right, I play the ball here, it's not going to be a free kick, and I'm going to wipe him out.
So Tarkowski knows exactly what he's doing, yeah?
He knows exactly what he's doing there. And let me tell you, Alexis McAllister is very lucky that his full boot wasn't planted in the ground. Because what happens in these scenarios, when you plant your studs in the ground, or your cleats, or whatever it is they wear these days, how deep they go in, is because the traction of those now, with the modern technology, is so good that the knee's got nowhere to go because it's planted in the ground, and so the only thing that can happen is the knee buckles. So he's lucky that his foot wasn't completely into the ground, McAllister, and he had some leeway from the challenge, but it was a horror show.
To answer your question, but I think it wouldn't do any harm to have a player in there, not making the decision, but just to give a little bit of advice or an insight into what a player might be thinking.
Right.
However, with this challenge, you shouldn't need to have played the game to understand, because the referees, when they're doing their training and they're taking through all the steps of what makes something a red card. My goodness, every single thing you saw in that replay has got the steps of a red card. And so you don't need to be a former professional player to understand that that's a red.
Meanwhile, Frank, David Moyes furious that the goal was given, given that Luis Diaz was offside in the build-up.
And I 100% go with him because that's Tarkowski has to tackle because he doesn't know. He knows that Diaz is offside from him, but he doesn't know where his teammates are, and it's not 100% that Diaz will be offside for everybody. So saying Diaz is not playing, is not involved in the game, it's completely wrong because if Tarkowski doesn't tackle, Diaz has two options. Either he touches the ball and he's offside, or he doesn't touch the ball and the goalkeepers get the ball back. Therefore, Jota would have never gotten the ball. That's where is my point. Diaz is part of the equation of the goal because he asked for a decision from Tarkowski. Tarkowski has to go for the tackle because of Diaz. Not because of Jota, not because of something else, because if he's on his own, he doesn't even touch the ball. If Diaz is not behind him, he doesn't touch the ball. So cancelling the fact that Diaz is behind and is not being involved, it's wrong. It's not football for me.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to move. The law is he doesn't have to move
to
have impacted the defender. So it's a bit the same as you say, oh, he's not moved. But from an offside position, he has impacted the defender's ability to make a rational decision there. Tarkowski has to make a decision because he sees Diaz there, doesn't know if he's offside, even though he's not moved. It's the same thing as a player stood in front of the goalkeeper. He doesn't have to move to be deemed, getting in the goalkeeper, interfering with play. Doesn't have to be throwing himself about. If he stood there and the keeper's sort of looking around him and he stood still, and he's interfering, he's in an offside position. And in some sense, this is the same. Although Diaz has not moved, he's in an offside position, he's next to Tarkowski, the ball's going there, and the defender feels he has to play it in a certain way. So I kind of feel for Everton in that sense.
Yeah. And you said that the law's wrong, Steve.
The law's wrong.
Yeah.